Good evening, everyone, and welcome along to TTML F4. We are here tonight on Friday. Of course, it is F1 2021 action. TTML F4, this is Season 7, round number 10 of the championship as we take the United States Grand Prix from the Circuit of the Americas here in Austin, Texas. My name is James Head. You are not expecting me normally on a Friday night, but however cannot be here, so I have come into the crease as your lead commentator, of course, tonight. And joining me in the commentary box, it has been a while. I've been alongside this co-commentator, of course, it is NSL Pariah. Pariah, how you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, and it's wonderful being back in the commentator box with you. It's been a while now. I think last time was I think it was EML in Brazil when we had those two races in a row commentating right after each other. I think that was the last time.
Yeah, it was indeed. EML was actually really good, I've got to say. Brazil, League 2 and Premier, I think we did, if I'm not mistaken. Then, good to have you back, of course, in the commentary box, as always, on a Friday night. Run you through, of course, what happened last week. Of course, Buck and Pariah obviously took you through the action last week. And to take you through the action once again, Mike won last week. I cannot believe I'm saying those words. Mike won last week. It's Jamie in second, Kermit there in third. The championship picture still looking quite muddled, but there is a 1 point lead for Jamie out in front on 178 points in the Red Bull. Kermit there in second on 177. Storm in third on 160. Mike in fourth on 151. And then a little bit of a jump down to Atlas Copo in fifth on 127. Then it's quite close actually between a few drivers. Rojgard there in sixth on 126. Benjamin 7th on 124, Passel's 8th on 108, Bradley in 9th and on 84, and Yanzu in 10th on 76 points. And then we've got Axel, Sargate, Camrules, Andy Campbell and Hooky running off the top 15, Zonfeld, Ivan, Kiki, Styles and Storm running off the 20 drivers that have scored the most amount of points this season. Jamie leading the championship coming into tonight, Pariah, obviously second and third for them last week. Who do you think might come out on top tonight? Because both of them have looked quite quick.
The whole season it's been changing from who's been the fastest. Some races, or at the start I remember it was Storm, but into the season he's falling a little bit more and more off. But he has kept himself up in the championship. And of course Kermit, Jamie, both delivering great results every week. But today I think it is going to be Mike's day again. Just as last week as Suka. I think he's gonna maybe take pole, or not pole position, maybe P2 or P3, and then the race is gonna be a lot of drama, I guess. 2-3 safety cars, and he'll end up on the top step of the podium.
Interesting indeed. I've middled about with my audio settings here, coming across a bit quiet compared to my game sound. I'm going to have to turn that down when we get into the lobby. Looking at the constructor standings though, we're going into qualifying now. Mercedes on 337 points leading the way. McLaren in second on 275. Ferrari in third on 210. Red Bull fourth on 178. Williams in fifth on 151. AlphaTauri in sixth on 146. Alfa Romeo in seventh on 113. Aston Martin 8th on 72, along with Haas, also tied on 72 points, and Alpine there in 10th on 31 points. And probably looking at Mercedes and McLaren, of course, it's like a bit of old school Formula 1, I think, both constructors being at the top end of the standings. Mercedes, if they've got a strong performance in them tonight, could possibly put one hand on the trophy tonight.
It could be possible. The whole season, the Mercedes drive has been amazing. As we heard earlier, they're P2 and P3 in the Drive Championship, and what I've seen this season, there are no team orders in Mercedes, even though they're battling for the Constructors Championship. As we see rain here in the qualifying, and it's the same condition as it were yesterday in F3 at the start of the race, which made me cry into happiness because I love the rain, as I always mention. So yeah, see the rain here a little bit. It doesn't look like it's that much. So from what I see now, I would predict that we'll get soft tires at the end. And the qualifying.
I've never seen, loading into a lobby, conditions where it hardly looks like it's raining out on track. Normally, it's quite heavy rain for intermediate conditions. There's hardly a spit out there. I mean, it could be obviously between the delta period, between both softs or dry compounded tyres and inters. It looks like majority drivers low are selecting the set of intermediate compound of tyres. That looks like it's going to be Torenheim, the first man out on track, and that is a very good sight to see, of course. Torenheim is the first man out on track. Of course, was a former OWR driver. I think the last time I commentated on him, certainly. Torenheim obviously the first man out on track, back in tonight as, of course, I believe, a reserve here tonight coming into F4. How do you rate his chances coming in tonight? Because I know on his day he is very, very quick.
I can just say that I think he has the full-time Aston Martin, if I saw right earlier. And the last time he drove here was, I think it was 2 seasons ago. DR Snellfire was his name then. Of course he's changing that, he's no longer in DR, he's just driving by himself. But Torenheim, he can be a really fast driver. I remember back in the TTML F5 days, DR Snellfire fighting for podiums almost every week. But he had barely been driving since August. Yeah, so I said. So it's going to be interesting to see what he can do in his comeback. But I think we can see him at least top 6 in the end of the day, or in the end of the evening.
Yeah, definitely. So I think Torenheim is a master of the inters, if I'm not mistaken, as well. So watch out for him in terms of qualifying. Could possibly be up there in terms of the obviously front contenders in this field. Good to see as well another familiar face that I'm commentating on. Mr. Andy Campbell is back, of course, in TTML 4 this season. Very familiar name to you and me on TTML. But obviously, Andy has now obviously taken away his commentary now in the racing terms here in F4. Looking forward to seeing how he gets on, because the last time I commentated on was in Project Cars 2, and that was about 2 or 3 years ago. So that's a big throwback. For Torenheim coming around the final corner on the run to the line, of course, 20 corners awaiting these drivers out on track in very, very overcast conditions with the rain falling down very lightly out on track. Torenheim up the hill in towards turn number 1, and he negotiates the curb very nicely indeed through turn number 1. Nice and smooth on the run down the hill and towards turn 2, and then through the S's section, which of course actually mirrors Suzuka, not Silverstone, Suzuka, but on a flatter surface. Through 3, through 4, through 5, and then through the right-hander of turns number 6, and Torenheim to the end of the first sector. 28.3, already around 3 seconds off compared to yesterday's times in TTML F2, because that was a dry qualifying session, of course. Torenheim, though, coming through turn 9, through the left-hander of turn 10, and then the left-hander of turn 11. Kermit, by the way, saying that the weather on this game is very realistic. I totally agree with that comment, to be honest. As we now come through turn 11, the sun glaring in the driver's eye, actually, as we come out of the hairpin at turn 11, running down the straight, which reminds me a bit like Delhi, to be honest. Then towards turn number 12, of course, the Indian Grand Prix, famously took place, I think it was between 2011 and 2013, if I'm not mistaken. But that straight reminds me of that. Torenheim, though, into the middle sector. Should be looking for around a 136.7-ish. I would think 110.3 through the middle sector. Maybe a little bit slower than the times that I've just said there. But Torenheim taking it nice and steady on this lap. Hasn't used up much EOS either, because you can't really use up the EOS in these conditions. Coming out of turn 15 then with Torenheim. Through Verstappen corner at 16, 17 and 18. Of course, where famously Max Verstappen overtook Kimi Räikkönen in 2018 off track and got his podium rescinded by the stewards, as Torenheim now comes to the left-hander of turn 19 and then through the final corner of turn 20. Doesn't want to go too deep in because he'll pick up an invalidation, as Torenheim now runs the final corner on the run to the line at a 145.7 to start off the night, and that looked a very clean lap, I've got to say.
Indeed, indeed. And as you've been taking that hot lap, we have gotten our first red flag of the weekend in Miami of Bottas crashing out at turn 7 into the wall with his rear end.
Oh, goodness me. I forgot actually practice one was actually on, to be honest. I was too busy looking at the Sunderland scores, to be honest, a bit earlier on. So I didn't even know there was an FP1 on. You could have not told me and I wouldn't even cared, to be honest. But Torenheim's dead on top. Yanzi there in second. Only 2 drivers actually sent a lap so far. Kermit was through the first sector, 28.3 I think I registered through the first sector from him. Jamie, though, title contender, 47.3. So Torenheim's lap time setting out very well indeed. 45.7. Atlas Coppo, 47.1. Still 1.4 seconds between Torenheim and Atlas Coppo. Kermit, though, on the run through turn number 11. Hopefully no age of Miss Piggy here tonight on the run down in towards turn number 12. Of course, DRS would be enabled at this part of the track, as well as, of course, down the start-finish straight. But Torenheim out on top, Atlas Coppo second, Ivan Tonchik in third, and Rojgod, I think, has just gone 5th as well. So good lap time for him, 47.3. But Torenheim topping the timing sheets for now, as Kermit is looking quite quick, I think, on this lap.
Yeah, see, with that first lap from Torenheim, and oh, there he spins around, avoids the wall, but guess he's gonna go in a bit for another or a new set of tires or intermediates then. But no one managed to challenge me yet. Atlas Coppo being 1.4 seconds behind. Oh, as Bradley has crashed out. Bradley has crashed out. There he is. We saw him from Andy's car. Maybe we can see him from Passel coming in very soon. For losing it out of turn 2 into turn 3.
Turn 2.
I think it is. Yeah, there his car was.
Oh, it's literally just gone off as soon as I went on board with Passels. Absolutely typical. Torenheim though out on top. Kermit, by the way, went second, 47.1. Went a little bit wide actually on his lap. It might be the case where it might just get knocked off in terms of the actual validation of that lap. But Kermit looked very quick. It sort of took too much speed in towards turn 19, and that's where he got forced out wide. Mike is on a lap as well, of course, race winner last week in Japan. Of course, one of his favourite tracks, actually, Japan, last week. Now at the United States Grand Prix, I was speaking to him last week in EML. He rates his chances, actually, coming into the back end of the season with a 28.5 first sector. That doesn't suit him too bad at all, as Atlas Coppo goes second now, 46.4. But Torenheim's lap time, as Mike nearly goes for spin, coming out of turn number 10 there. But Torenheim still out on top, 45.7, and seems to me as if he's a class above the rest, but was now seeing, Pariah, most drivers going on multiple laps on this compound tyre.
Yes, that's exactly what we're seeing, and Atlas Coppo closed in on Torenheim, but still not enough to beat him. And we do have some for fast drivers still not having a set of lap time. We have Mike and Storm, but I know they're both on a hot lap right now. And someone who picked up the pace recently was Dinand, earlier Maximum Attack, and he had been struggling a lot of earlier in the season. And then at Imola, suddenly he was fighting for a podium as he almost loses his car. I think in Japan he was struggling as well, but suddenly he has come back with some strong pace. If on a good day, he can be fighting for a podium.
Yeah, definitely so. We'll see what the Welshman can do coming through the final couple of corners. Kermit improves his lap time, 46.9. Mike coming around the final corner. Mike just matched it up into 4th position, I think, here. This is a good lap for Mike on the run to the line, and he does go 4th, and he's only 15 hundredths of a second off Kermit, and that's his first lap on that sort of intermediate compound tire. So clearly showing the pace there off that first lap. Will obviously go for multiple runs. It's Torenheim though out on top, Atlas Coppo in second, Kermit there in third. Good evening to the chat, by the way. I forgot to totally say good evening to all of you at home. Bradley saying, hey boys, Jamie had a 30-second ad, so did I. That's why I wasn't going to start the stream for another 30 seconds because of that advertisement. Pariah as well, you put in the top 3 prediction as DRS has been enabled.
Yeah, and it's still raining actually, so it's really weird. And I think that's something I've seen on this game, is that, or the last few months, is that, like right now, even though it's raining, it could be faster on soft tires, and it's so weird what's happened with the game recently. The logic with the weather, because I often see in league racing, I commentate that normally now in races with this condition, the drivers will put on soft and they would be faster.
Yeah, and that's all because of the Delta time, I think, certainly. So clearly the game thinks Delta time is actually on. Andy Campbell to the line goes 11, 48.2 from the Scotsman there. Dinander's on a lap at a 110.1 through the middle sector. Not a bad middle sector at all from Dinan, the NSR man, going through the final couple of corners. Bradley, of course, crashed out through turns 2 and 3, so he's not going to be improving beyond 14. Possibly going to be outdone by the likes of Benjamin as well, who was still yet to set laps. Rain has got a little bit lighter, actually, out on track compared to at the start of the session. Dinan ran the final corner on the run to the line and goes quickest, 45.6. Really good lap time. That's his first lap on that set of intermediate compound tyres. Clearly,
Mike lost it out of the last corner as he went over the line. He did put in a 145.8, and he also went into the wall, so could be some right end plate gone. Maybe it's gone. So luckily he didn't lose any wheel though, and he did get in a better lap time. But I think he can go much faster than that, considering that last corner.
Yeah, you'd like to imagine. So the rain is still falling out on track. What I'm on board with Mike, I've noticed actually the spray has now totally disappeared from the circuit. So that means the track is going to be greasy, and it looks like it's actually drying, even though there is still little drips and drabs of rain. Yeah, the rain looks like it's now stopped, actually, as we come on board with Mike. He gets out of the way of another driver, the Aston Martin of Torenheim, I believe, just going on to another lap. But Dinan now on top, Torenheim in second, Mike in third. Let's talk about Dinan's lap, though. 45.6 on that set of intermediate compound tyre, quicker than Torenheim, who's done now 4 laps on that set of inters. So clearly, fresh intermediates, or maybe fresh dry compound tyres, is certainly the way to go.
Indeed, but if we also look at... Oh, and that is Andy into the wall there at the last corner. What we see is that Jansu, Ivan, and Jamie, they are on the soft tires. They're still in the pit, but they're on the soft tires. And I think that's a sign of... that we can get in lap times down the dry tires, as we do only have a few minutes left.
Silas has gone for spin, coming through 10-14. I thought it was going the wrong way there when he came back on track. Goodness me, I thought it was going the wrong way. He would have been disqualified. Torenheim's back into the pit lane. Jamie, by the way, has just said, I think to back up your point as well, track is improving really quickly, apparently, and the track is nearly full dry. And it still looks like there's a little bit of drips and drabs coming down the camera angles that we've got. It looks like there's a Mercedes leaving the pit lane on a set of soft compound tyres. I would assume that's going to be Kermit coming out the pit lane on that set of soft compound of tyre. It is one of the Mercedes anyways coming out the pit lane, and it's not Kermit, it's Storm coming out the pit lane. Got completely the wrong Mercedes there, but he's on a set of soft compound tyre. We're going to see lap times inevitably improve. What lap time are we looking for? I would say, what, 1:31.1, 1:31.2-ish?
I would say that the fastest laps tonight is going to be 31.67 maybe. By the way, to mention, there is a Mercedes-powered car first out on the soft tires, but it's not Storm or Kermit, it is Jansu in the third sector right now.
Let's have a look at him. Andy Campbell, by the way, has lost his front wing, so clearly had a moment through the first sector, and the Alpine has lost his front wing. Hopefully he will come back into the pit lane before he can get the lap, as Jansu's actually lost it out on track into the wall, coming out of turn 18. Wing plate goes flying up in the air. Jansu's surely going to have to come maybe back into the pit lane. I would say he can't, and that unfortunately is going to be... I can understand, he went so far off track, he spun the car, I can understand that, so the stewards might have a look into that and think, yeah, probably unintentional. He just looked like he took turn 18 flat out, went into the wall on the right hand side, got the car out wide. He's got right side end plate damage. Luckily there was enough time for him to come back into the pit lane and repair his front wing, and that will mean Mercedes of Storm is the first man out on track now, going on to a set of soft compound tyre lap.
We have 4 minutes left of the qualifying, so like Storm starting a lap now, he's not going to get in another lap, I think, like setting a lap time, getting into the pit and out again. He doesn't got time for that, so this is his one and only lap on the soft tires. As with a tyre on this track, I wouldn't recommend doing 2 laps on the same soft tires.
Yeah, definitely so. We'll see what Storm obviously can do on this set of soft compound tyre. Coming through turn 2, it still looks very greasy, I've got to say, out on track. Compared to this camera angle, still a bit of spray being kicked up at Storm. Flying through the first sector, 25.7, and that's exactly where you want to be. He's already going theoretically quicker than everyone else. It is softs now out on track, so we're going to see what Storm makes a mistake actually coming out of turn number 9. Got caught on the sausage curb on the inside, coming out in towards turn number 11, the left-hand hairpin, and it's looking quite good from Storm's perspective so far on his lap. Valtteri Bottas' car, by the way, I've just seen a picture. The rear end has nearly completely came off the car. The rear suspension, certainly in the back left of the car, has pretty much came off in that incident. So I've just seen it there. But Storm coming through the middle sector. Obviously, it's still a couple of seconds off prime time, really, but a 103.6 through the middle sector is not too bad at all from Storm. Was that a 10-14? You've seen something?
Sign has a right front puncture if you have hit the wall.
They're
showing the replay now. Oh! He has taken a 360 drift and punctured his right front tire on that, blocking all of his tires up.
Storm's
a beautiful save there, and Storm comes over the line, yeah.
Yep, 34.5 goes quickest.
Jamie then, he's invalidated, but he's going to start another lap.
Sidegate's looking... Yeah. Sidegate's looking quite good in the middle sector. I think we come on board with them at the same time there. But he's probably... I don't think he's going to go as quick as Storm, potentially. But have to wait and see. He's nearly all over the shop coming out of turn 19. Then to the final corner, turn 20. In fact, he's got to go quicker than Storm, definitely, as he comes around the final corner on the run to the line. He does go quickest by only a tenth of a second. It's a bit disappointing there from Sidegate's perspective. But 1:50 to go. I think I'm going to throw it out on the line now and say last person across the line is going for pole position.
I totally agree on that. And just to finish what I was on about Sainz, beautiful save from him. And he was really lucky because he spun out one of the places with big runoffs.
Do you know who I thought you said? Danan now goes quickest, 33.7. Do you know who I thought I said? I thought you mentioned Silas, and that's why I went on board with them in the actual session. I'm mishearing things, honestly. Danan out on top, Sidegate's second, Storm in third. I believe the final person to come across the line will be Mike. I can spy him in the middle sector, coming down the straight then towards turn number 12. So I believe Mike is potentially going to be the final man out on a lap, which means he's possibly going to get the best the best track compound, as Danan is invalidated once again, but Mike will be the final man to come across the line, it seems, for another lap, and that's if nobody obviously wants to set multiple lap times. As Storm, speaking of which, does set multiple lap times and goes quickest on a 33.5 with 45 seconds to go.
Yeah, I'm with Atlas Copa now into the last corner. I think it's going to challenge for the top 2 position, but not enough for pole. No, it goes P3, just 3,000 behind the Nantes.
Yeah, not a bad lap at all. Jamie's just starting on one. Passels is just starting on one. Mike, as I say, is the final man to come on to lap. Axel's invalidated, so is Ivan as well. Rojgard, though, 1 or 2, 4 in the middle sector. Lightning quick through the middle sector from the NSR man. And Rojgard should be going top step of the podium for now, at least in this qualifying session. We'll see more improvements as we go along the session, but Rojgard now with only barely 5 seconds to go in the session, comes through turn 19, nearly ran out wide. This is surely the first 32 of the night from Rojgard as he comes around the final corner on the run line, should the first 32 of the night, and it is 32.599. And how do you like them apples? He's nearly a second quicker than Storm. Great lap by the NSR man, and he's currently out on top. Anybody else on the lap?
I'm not totally sure. I think everyone is about to finish a lap now. Passel maybe, but also I can say that it was not Mike starting the last lap. Kermit started a little bit later, so maybe it could be Kermit taking it at the end then. We'll have to go on to him later as he's soon going to go out on the back straight here. But with Passel now through the 2 last corners.
I'll tell you what, Torenheim's on a really good lap here. I'm on board with him, and he's hooking up every single corner to perfection. Round the final corner, on the run to the line, 32 flat. Torenheim goes quickest. Very good lap time on his improvement. Mike is 7.5 seconds up. He's 2/10 off Torenheim's middle sector, though, so we'll see what the Welshman's going to do. Coming around the final couple of corners, it's Torenheim out on top, but I think he's going to remain there as Mike comes to the line, and he only goes third. Disappointing from his perspective. Sidegate is back out on a lap as well. The Aston Martin coming around the final corner. Kermit is coming through the final sector through 16, 17 and 18, but Sidegate round the final corner on the run to the line. He goes fourth. Where is Kermit going? Looking at the middle sector, 102.4. I don't think it's enough, as now the Brit comes around the final couple of corners. I think this is Torenheim's pole position. Torenheim he's going to get pole position as Kermit goes second, 32.4, and the round of applause for my co-commentator. Torenheim is back, ladies and gentlemen. 32 flat. What a lap time that was from Torenheim, and even in the middle sectors, nobody got close to that lap. Torenheim is back, and he's back with a bang in qualifying.
Absolutely incredible.
Absolutely brilliant lap from Torenheim. I'm really glad I actually caught his lap, because it looked... Every single corner he hooked up to absolute perfection on that lap. 32 flat, 4/10 quicker than Kermit in qualifying. Welcome back, Torenheim. Might be just the one to beat here tonight. Brilliant performance by the Aston Martin. Kermit there in second, splitting the Scandinavians, which is good, I think, from his perspective. Rojgard there in third. Mike there in fourth. Good promising position starting from him. But look at the guys that actually set times that had the earlier track, basically. Sidegate, Jamie, fifth and sixth. So Jamie starting sixth, Kermit second. That's good for the championship for Kermit. Atlas Copo in seventh, Yanzu in eighth, Storm in ninth, Danan ran off the top 10. And it's Passel, Andy Campbell and Solis, who all got got tyres, who all got lap times on that set of soft compound tyres. Benjamin, Axel, Ivan, and Bradley didn't. They will all start, of course, I would assume, if it's not a wet race, on a set of dry compound tyres, presumably a set of medium compound tyres.
Look at Storm's comment in the chat, because what you're going to see now on your screen
is
rain, I think.
And it's going to be full wet. Yeah.
Let's go! Woof.
It's a full wet race. It's a full wet race. Oh no.
Ladies and gentlemen, prepare for a long evening. We're going to have a few safety cars.
I hope this is not what's the sign of things to come for TTML F1 on Sunday, where we've got, obviously, the Miami Grand Prix at 8:30, so hopefully, even with these conditions, we might get to the end of the race before then, if those do rear their heads, of course, in TTML F1. Brilliant qualifying session by everyone. Charlotte there in the comment section saying hello, good evening to you. Storm says, though, it's going to be drying at the end of the race, so I'm going to put it immediately out there in terms of prediction. Lap 18-19, set of soft compound tyre, it'll turn dry, set of dries will go on, and then we'll get about 8 or 9 laps in the dry compound tyres, if that does, of course, rear its head. But we've got to get to inters before that point, because everyone's starting on that full wet compound tyre. Around, of course, here at the Circle of the Americas, 5.4 kilometres then, 3.6 mile, or 3.4 mile even, and, of course, 28 laps away from now, drivers out on top. Towenheim out on top, Kermit there in second, Roger God there in third. Old School saying in the chat as well, who was winning James? Well, I'm going to immediately make my prediction and say that Torenheim is going to take the win. I think Jamie's going to get second, and for third, I'm going to go for Rojgaard.
Interesting. Rojgaard got his first, or got a victory here last season, so I'll predict him P1, having a strong race this season as well. Then I'll say Torenheim in P2, and Jamie P3.
Jamie
also, I was gonna say, Charlo in the chat, she's here every week, is a classmate of me. Every week, she's here on the stream. That's what we like.
I have a feeling her name is Charlotte, if I'm not mistaken, with that username. Am I right?
You're very right, sir.
Oh, I'm glad. It's just because I've got a cousin named Charlotte, and that's immediately just clicked into my mind there. Good to see you there. Hopefully you're going to be enjoying the race, of course, here tonight. Not your regular Scandinavian commentators as you might be expecting. Of course, I'm from the northeast of England. As I peer out my window, it is actually sunny now here in the northeast, which is pretty good. Tomenheim though out on top, Kermit there in second, Roger God in third. What do Tomenheim and Kermit have to do off the front end of the grid, because they're going to be side by side off the start. Tomenheim and Kermit, traditionally Tomenheim normally gets better starts than he does for the rest of the field, so if that is the case, we should see Tomenheim leading through turn 1.
Yeah, and I'm wondering, because Kermit is like really far in front of the others. There's a big gap behind Jamie as well here. Not totally sure what's happening there. But yeah, at the start, it's important just to be careful with the throttle. The moment you get too much wheel spin, your car's going to be sideways and you're going to lose a lot of position. So just get up to turn 1 and get first out of it, and then you're okay.
Yeah, there's a car going slow in the middle sector. Denand, I think, has spun, if I'm not mistaken. This is in AI mode, I'm not sure. But Denand is going through the final sector. I think Bradley also spun on that formation lap, and he's just went very wide indeed, coming out of turn number 19 there. And in terms of, if anybody is following the Sunderland game, by the way, because they're a Sunderland fan, it's 0-0 at the minute, and it's 14 minutes into play, so it's good to see Sunderland's actually putting on a good performance here tonight, at least. But Tomenheim out on top, Kermit second, Roger God on third. Pariah, I'm going to cut to you as the final car rejoins on the grid. Who's your top 3? Oh, you've already said it.
Yeah, already said it.
Well, say it again.
It was Rojgaard, Torenheim, Jamie.
Interesting. We'll see if those...
Torenheim's brother sent me a snap. My prediction is Torenheim's going to spin into the wall and crash.
Oh, that's terrible. Don't put your brother under the same perspective. But 5 would like to go in IT in the United States for round number 10, and we've got drive-throughs already, because Mike and Jamie have both driven off the start before we got the lights out, and Kermit's got the better start than Tomenheim. On them towards turn number 1, and Kermit will lead the Mercedes down the inside and towards turn 1, leads the way. Roger tries to get in between both of them. looks relatively clean in the background. Tornheim on the inside line for turn 2. He's going to be outdone by Rojgod around the outside, and Rojgod's through and he's into second. Tornheim now into third. The rain is falling down the camera, and I can't see what's going on as Denander's gone around the outside of Storm. Very good stop by Denander. He's up to 7th. Storm there in 8th. Mike obviously dropping down as a result of that drive-through. Jamie the same. Both of them will have to come in the pit lane. Atlas Copel has just now been outdone by Denander as he goes around the outside and towards turn number 9. Tries to get the job done, and he does. So Denander's on an absolute mission. Even through the first half lap, he's into 6th. He's made multiple positions off this start. Storm is now going side by side with Atlas Copel, and here comes the Brit down the inside line of the Norwegian. Tries to get the job done in towards turn number 11, and he does. So Storm is through and he's into 7th. Atlas Copel in 8th. Very good start by all as Rojgod chases Kermit down, hunts him down in towards turn number 12 for the first time. It's Kermit out on top. Rojgod 2nd. Tornheim in 3rd. As we come towards the end of lap 1, Atlas Copel is going side by side once again with Storm. The rain is really falling down. I can't really see the cars out on track, to be honest, but Atlas Copel then to 7th. Refights the position. Storm is trying to go for the Opmia sort of move down the inside. Of course, in PSGL PC, they obviously collided Longay and Opmia, but Storm going around the outside this time on Atlas Copel, fighting the car very nicely indeed and gets the job done. Jamie is through as well, and he's into 4th and capitalises on Sidegate's mistake, but at the end of lap 1, I need a breather. Kermit leads the way, Rojgod 2nd, Tornheim in 3rd, and Tornheim, initially good off the start, just did not get that launch, and he's down in P3 at the end of lap 1.
Yeah, amazing start for a few drivers, and only for some. Jamie and Mike both getting drive-throughs, and those are 2 of the championship fighters as well, so not great for them. As Denandi said, he has done an incredible start here as he's trying to get past Saget for P5 now. Could he get his 5th position in just 1.5 lap? He's trying. Oh, there's a little bit of touching, but no spinner.
No way.
He's trying it.
He's mental. He is mental out on track, trying to go side by side through the S section, and then he's just being rear-ended Sidegate because he's so quick. Denan, he's made relentless progress through the first lap. Denan is through and he's into P6 still. He's gained 4 positions off the start, and he's just run wide there coming out of turn number 9, but he's gained 4 positions off the start. There needs to be, though, consistency, of course, in these races. As Kermit leads the way, Rojgod 2nd, Tornheim there in 3rd, or Rojgod, I should say, in 2nd, Tornheim there in 3rd. Kermit, though, still hanging off the lead of the race at the minute. It's only 0.3 of a second as they now come down in towards turn number 12. Of course, DRS is not going to be enabled in these conditions. And did you know the full wet compound tyres can dispose of 75 to 80 litres of water per second out on track, which means we'll probably get a draw line before, I would say, lap 10, as Axel and Salas are going side by side in towards turn number 12. Bit deep, actually, from them both, as Axel gets thrown into P11, as Rojgod's right on the back of Tornheim, and Tornheim dived down the inside line into into turn 15, trying to get the job done, as Rojgod tries to go all the way around the outside now, but Tornheim 2nd, Rojgod there in 3rd. Let's Kermit pull away by nearly a second.
Yeah, Rojgod had a lot of wheel spin and almost spun it, so Tornheim got past him. What I was going to say about Denan, you know what, if you remember the TTL history, I think Denan has been watching Challenge Cup from League 2 in Silverstone.
He has. He's looking extraordinarily quick. I mean, Storm's gone even quicker, though, on the purple fastest lap of this race, but Denander's looking really, really good, I've got to say. He needs to get past Sidegate, obviously. Sidegate normally... Oh, as he nearly rear-ends him towards turn number 1. That was close for comfort, but Kermit leads the way. Tornheim in 2nd, Rojgod in 3rd. Now they've pulled away. So Rojgod's really hassling the back of Tornheim, trying to get this move done. The thick rain here falling in the United States. Of course, DRS would be enabled if there was dry conditions. It is not. So, drivers have to now fend for themselves, of course, out on track as Rojgod just needs a bit of time to Tornheim. Tornheim's beginning to get into that rhythm. When he's in that rhythm, he possibly could be unbeatable, as the Aston Martin is on the back now of the Mercedes, and we're going to see the front 2 from what was lap 1 now going to go at it onto lap 3.
Yeah, and Tornheim getting a little bit of wheel spin there, and later in the race, when it hopefully comes down to a little bit, I can take you through the result of FP1. But right now we do have so many races close to each other, so not the smartest taking it up now, as Denan is going to try it on the outside of Saget. Can he make it there? He tries to, he does go off the track a little bit, and he does pick up the first penalty of the evening. Still going side by side with Saget. Saget not the one to give it up, but there is Denan up to P4.
Yeah, I would probably say if he didn't get that penalty, he would have had to give up the position because it was off track, he overtook. Yeah. But with that 3-second penalty, I think the game has dealt him quite right there, to be honest, in terms of his cut over the curb through turn number 12, and that is why Danan has picked up that penalty as a result. But look at the gap, 1.7 seconds. That gap will come down in a lapse time, and Danan so much quicker than the top three. Kermit holding them up very nicely, I've got to say, out in front. Tornheim there in second, Roy got there in third. Onto lap 4 we go. Tornheim fastest lap of the race. Danan, though, is a second quicker than Tornheim on that fastest lap of the race. I kid you not. 151.3. Yes, he went for an excursion coming through turn 12. Tornheim 52.2. 9/10 quicker than Danan. He's surely going to be all over the guys in the top three in just a matter of moments.
Yeah, let me just tell you that Danan, he is the guy that in the first maybe 5-6 races almost crashed. I think he crashed out in most of the races, or got lapped by got lapped 2 or 3 times or something. And here he is, climbed up 6th position, and he's now within a second. I know there's no DRS, but still, he has climbed up so fast to the top 3. And right now, they're not going to be one of the fastest drivers on track, and he's going to try to challenge for the podium position. Of course, you do have a penalty, which is going to make it a little bit harder for him, but this pace so far is impressive.
Has he got somebody else driving from here tonight? This is the real Danan, I think, coming out tonight in America. Great stuff, and he's into fourth, obviously. He's trying to chase down Roygod, who has just lost the back end of the front two. Kermit and Tornheim were getting quite close. Tornheim used up a bit of ERS there down the straight, used up a bit of deployment, but because it is purely wet conditions out on track, you're going to be saving more battery than actually using it up. So we'll see majority drivers going 90%, 100% towards the pit stops, of course, out on track. Everyone's still in this race, by the way. Jamie, for all intents and purposes, came out in P14 after his drive through. Mike, by the way, right down the back of the field. He has got pace, though, and he has closed up possibly to the back of Benjamin in a few laps' time. There's now Tornheim on the back of Kermit coming out of turn 19. That was the first mistake, really, that we've seen from the Brit in front. And the Norwegian is right on the back of him now, down in towards turn number 1, as we've got a spin. Danan spun coming through the final corner. That was in the background of shot. Apologies that I didn't catch that on stream, but Tornheim in towards turn 1 didn't get the move done. What happened to Danan?
He spun it out of the last corner, I think. A little bit too much throttle. That's it, basically, and it's down to P11 now. Sorry for interrupting you there, by the way.
No, it's absolutely fine. I mean, we can't keep up with everything, to be honest, out on track. But Tottenham was quite close, and that's why I was trying to follow the battle there. Danan, though, doesn't look like he's got any damage, which is positive. He's catching Andy, and catching Andy at a really good rate, and that means, to me, I don't think he's got any damage on that car, which I think is really good from his perspective, and really good for his race chances as he goes through the race.
Yeah, he didn't get into the wall, and I gotta mention that Jamie and Jamie and Mike, they have been a little bit lucky because this is a track with not a long pit lane, and I think the speed limit is 80, so they haven't lost too much on it. Jamie already up to P14, fighting for P13, and Mike now in the back of Silas, so they are, of course, they're far behind the leaders, but thinking about that, they had a drive-through, I would say they've been a little bit lucky about the track to get it done.
Yeah, Jamie's on the back of Janzu, actually, in towards turn number 12. Thanks about going all the way around the outside. Janzu holds the line. Bit of contact. Jamie's going to get the move done, I think, down the inside line. In towards turn number 13. Job done. Red Bull's through on the Williams. There wasn't really any contact, to be honest. It looked like Janzu actually made a mistake on the curb and sort of went into Jamie, to be honest. Jamie gets the move done and he's into 13. Not that anybody cares. Sunderland are winning 1-0 at the Stadium Light. Ross Stewart has scored the goal, and that is a big night for us, of course, because we're in the playoff semi-final against Sheffield Wednesday in League One. Only man that will probably get that is Luke Etheridge, and he's probably not even watching the stream, to be honest. But Kermit leads the way. Tornheim in second, Roygod in third, one to lap 6 out of 28. Mike, though, has caught the back of Sardas, who's really struggling, I've got to say, out on track tonight in these wet conditions. Mike is going to do up and under at a turn 20. Doesn't even need to get the pass done because he's already got it done on the exit of the final corner, and Mike is through, and he's gained a position on the back of Sardas, who's through, and he's into P16, currently fighting out for the wooden spoon.
Yes, and I'm going to try to take the result quickly for just 30 seconds, and I'll take it from the top. from the FP1 session. Leclerc, Russell, Verstappen, Perez, Gasly, Sainz, Albon, Hamilton, Magnussen, Ricciardo, Norris, Alonso, Guanyu, Vettel, Ocon, Stroll, Bottas, Tsunoda, Schumacher, Latifi, and Bottas and Sainz on mediums, everyone else on soft.
Russell second is a big one, I think, for me. Verstappen there in third.
Also, Albon P7 while his teammate is P20.
Yeah, it's FP1 though. I don't think we should really look into it that much because obviously FP2 is going to come out a little bit. FP2 is going to be later on, isn't it?
Yes.
What time? Oh, it's Mike as DNF! Mike is out the race! Through the and it's a safety car. It is a safety car out on track, so Mike has spun. Coming out of turn number 11, I think he's got caught in the outside curb purely and he's just spun the car around. He's in the wall, and that is Mike out of the race. And the Welshman, that drive-through penalty hindered him, and now he's out the race. I cannot imagine the worst possible night, and that is the effect that I have on Mike. Obviously, joining the commentary here tonight, and he's crashed out the race, which is sort of, dare I say it, Mike things when he races when I'm commentating. I dare say, but Sardas has picked up a drive-through penalty, more serious matters, been under the safety car there, but Mike is out of the race.
Drive-through for Silas. But yeah, FP2 is going live at Central Europe time 11:30, so UK time 10:30.
Oh, I'll be able to lie in bed and watch it. Brilliant. Oh, it's Kermit nearly passes the safety car, and Tovenheim has passed Kermit. Tovenheim is off the track. This is unbelievable. I've never seen anything like it. Tovenheim has got to rejoin on track. Oh, and he rejoins right beside Storm as well, and he has to sit in 5th position. The safety car did not get going coming out of turn number 2. Kermit slowed. Tovenheim just had reactions like an absolute tiger, got out the way, he parked off on the right hand side, but he's lost 3 positions. He's lost positions to Roygaard, Sygate and Storm. That's a nightmare for Tovenheim. He looked like he had good pace. Whether or not he has the good pace now, though, remains to be seen. But Tovenheim, 5th position, and that's all because of the safety car going too slow on catching the drivers up.
I don't know one thing for sure, that his butter right now is laughing.
Might be the funniest moment you'll see all night. He won't be laughing if he wins. I'll tell you that now. You will not be laughing if he wins. You'll be congratulating him, and I know for a fact you will. Kermit out on top. Roy got there in second, Sygate in third. We are under the safety car if you're just tuning in to the stream. And speaking of the stream, I'm going to have a look, see if there's been any more comments in this. Danand saying, why is he always effing it up? And I'm not sure if that was actually at the end of qualifying or if that was in the race. Currently sat in P10, Danand. I wouldn't worry too much because you've got slower drivers ahead of you. I wouldn't worry at all. You've got the pace. Show it. Simple.
By the way, if Torenheim wins this race, or if I were in Torenheim's position, considering what my brother then would have said, I would have done everything to win, cross the line, call him and say, suck on it. And then maybe give him a bad word or something, but I can't say that on stream.
Definitely not. You've got the head commentator alongside you tonight. You definitely won't be saying rude words alongside me. But Torenheim there in 5th. Have to feel sorry for him. Sygate's in the pits. Sygate is in the pits. Now, I'm imagining with the rain, it looks like the rain's easing out on track. I think this is for Inters. I think this is going to be for Inters. Well. As Bradley is also in. Is this for Inters?
Well.
It is.
Inters, yeah. We like this.
Oh, and Ivan.
Ivan's crashed out.
He's crashed. What? How's he crashed there?
Where is he crashed?
He's crashed on the pit straight. He's crashed just after the start line.
How has that happened?
He's gone into the back of somebody, obviously, I think.
Yeah.
Has to be.
Get into the back of someone.
He might have.
About Twitch.
Oh, Dananda's now crashed. What on earth is going on? Dananda's now crashed coming out of turn number 2.
That's 2 cars. 2 cars in just 30 seconds. None of them went into the wall. Like both of them were in the middle of the track.
I dare not say it out on stream, but I'm going to anyways. Danand. Oh, Axel apparently. Apparently something to do with Axel. We didn't see that in the stream, to be honest, because we were too busy chatting about other things. But Axel, apparently something to happen. He's braking in front of me and Ivan. So Axel, it seems, has broken in front of Ivan and Dinand. Both of them, because of their reaction times, I can assume, has probably just gone into the back of each other. There's been no penalties being picked up. Ivan has crashed out down the straight because of Axel braking basically on a straight. And then Dinand, I think, has gone off coming out of turn number 2, maybe by himself. I hope that wasn't on purpose, if I've got to be honest. He's there in the chat. I hope that wasn't on purpose. But safety car, regardless, is in this lap, and that actually means... Oh, I thought nobody else... I thought everyone wasn't on the back of the safety car there, but they are. Kermit, now the virtual Vermalander, he's now the virtual safety car. I don't know where this race has suddenly turned.
Yeah, now it's going to be really interesting looking at Bradley and Saga, though, since they are in the intermediates, to see if intermediates work now.
Yeah, definitely so. We'll see what Kermit is going to do, though. Roygaard in behind him. I know Roygaard's normally good off the safety car start, so we'll see what the Ferrari could do. There's a spinner, is there, coming through the middle sector?
Not totally sure what happened there, but Bradley was switching position or something. But yeah, we got to take a look at Kermit then. When does it go for it? The safety car is in now. I think it's going to go out of the last corner.
Yep, I think he will, and he actually goes just before the final corner. Roygaard is right on the back of him, coming out the final corner. Storm's twitchy out the final corner as well, but Roygaard's right underneath the rear wing of Kermit. Janzi was into the pit lane, Sardas into the pit lane, but Roygaard on the side, in towards turn number 1. He's up the inside line of Kermit. Kermit goes a little bit too deep, I think. Roygaard will try and get the rotation turned in on the inside, and now the outside, in towards turn number 2, but Kermit holds the lead. Roygaard there in second, Storm in third. Sygate has not gained any time, it is not intermediate companionized just yet. He's losing time to Jamie, who's all over the back of Andy Campbell there in 8th position. The Scotsman's doing a good job. Axel's picked up a 3-second penalty, but now Sygate coming to the middle sector, or coming into the middle sector, is now gaining time, so suddenly it looks like it is Inter's.
I think so, yeah, and we did have a few penalties coming up there as well. And now then I'm with Passel right at the back of Axel. Andy and Jamie really close there as well. And what I would like to mention is that what we see now in the championship, Roygaard is a little bit further down. He's still in the battle, but is 50 points behind now. And last season he lost he was fighting for the championship, but at the last race Jamie took it. And I think Roygaard is really motivated now. He has a chance, but he needs to get his great results now, like podium positions, as Jamie's on the inside of Andy there, up to P8. So yeah, I think Roygaard is really in trying to get this victory tonight and close in the championship and fight for it.
Yeah, solid move that by Jamie, down the inside and towards turn number 12. Got the job done! Sygate has spun on the inside of turn number 14. He didn't catch the curb, he just caught a pure half spin on the car. He's rotated it one way, rotated the other, and the car's been sent round. And Sygate, that is a big indicator. It's not intermediates just yet out on track. So the guys are still coming around the final couple of corners as Torenheim is into the pit lane. Alice Coper was into the pit lane. Axel also into the pits. And now that will bring Roygaard under pressure from Storm for second and third position on the run down in towards turn number 1. On to lap 10, I feel like we've been commentating a bit longer than that. Kermit leads the way, Roygaard in second, Storm in third, but it seems like everyone now going for a set of intermediate compound tyres, so maybe I don't know what I'm talking about in the commentary box tonight.
It's really tricky to see what type of tires is the best now. On board with the driver, it looks like it's raining a lot, and I would almost say that the wet is fastest. But of course, we are just spectators, and if we see that, or now we see that most of the people are on intermediate, so I would guess that the intermediates are much better now.
Yeah, I mean, Bradley's on the back of Andy. And he's going to get a switch back out of turn 9. Storm and Roygaard are fighting as well, but Bradley had a beautiful switch back on Andy Campbell in the meantime, gets the job done. Storm was nearly forced off circuit actually. I think he ran wide in towards turn number 11, and now he gets the switch back off the banking basically out of turn number 11, and he's going to run possibly side by side with Roygaard, running down in towards turn number 12. Bradley is through them, he's into 5th, and he's going to gain on the back of Passels quite quickly as well, but Roygaard takes full capitalisation of a mistake by Storm, and Roygaard through, and he's into 2nd, and all of that was set up, as you noticed there, from turn 10.
Yes, and I just had to, I'm a little bit tired, as you can hear, but back here then, and this is looking great for Bradley and Sagan as well. Of course, he also pitted at the start of the safety or the end of the safety car, I think it was. He did have a spin though, but Bradley now P5, and if it is intermediate weather, he's in a great position.
Yeah, Jamie gets the job. Yeah.
Kermit sits out. Roygaard is in, and Storm.
So they're into the pit lane. They're into the pit lane, but Jamie's just gone past Axel. This is going to be the big defining moment. Where they're going to come out the pit lane. Andy is also coming into the pit lane just in front. Benjamin also went, so clearly looks like it's Inters out on track for these guys. Sidegate just proves that. Intermediate compounded tyres, he's gone 2 seconds quicker than the previous fastest lap, and he's obviously on much fresher tyres there in 4th position. Roygaard though, Toronto's already gone through. Roygaard's going to lose a lot of time here, I think. Jamie's going to be past him. I think he's going to be side by side with Axel coming out the pit lane here. There is Axel on the left hand side of Roygaard. He might turn into him if he's not careful. Oh, and the Williams just about takes avoiding action, and the Ferrari just about comes ahead. So Roygaard in 8th, Axel there in 9th. That got a little bit scary and a little bit touchy by them both, but it definitely looks like it enters because Bradley is catching Passelt and Kermit hand over fist.
And now Pastel and Kermit, they have to pit for the intermediates. They can't stay out now. They're losing so much time.
Has to, unless they try and go on that sort of wet compounded tyres and then it dries up even further. I said around lap 17, 18. I wouldn't be too surprised if it is around that on the track, to be honest, but further down the field, it looks like we're going to get a battle. Storm, Axel, P9 and 10 at this moment in time. In fact, I've just come on board with a battle I don't think is even going to happen here, because Storm's on the back of Axel, running down in towards turn number 12, and the Mercedes is not even close enough to the back of the Williams in front, and the Williams will stay in P9, still now in 10.
Bradley on the outside. Oh, okay, Passel, lifted a lot there, but Bradley was on his way on the outside into the long right-hander as Kermit is now going to go into the pit, and then Passel's probably going to do it as well. Yes, it is.
And
so then it is Bradley, Sagan and Torenheim top 3.
I think Passel has just picked up a 10-second penalty as well. There's a spinner through the final couple of corners. That's Andy Campbell that's around coming through the final couple of corners. Penalties, yeah, Passel has picked up a 10-second penalty. How on earth did he pick that up? He's into the pit lane, going for a set of inters. Oh, I think he's cut on the grass coming out maybe of turn 18 and he's had a spin and it's given him a 10-second penalty because that was just before he came in the pit lane. So I can only assume he's either run out wide there as Kermit is going to be side by side with Yanzu coming out the pit lane, and the Williams, I think, is going to be behind. So the Mercedes through and he's into 9th. Mercedes looking quite strong in the constructors at the minute. But Bradley, in terms of his position gains so far in this race, right from the back of the field. Are you kidding me? 16th up to first. From, no, 17th I should say up to first. Bradley, last to first challenge. If you predicted that at home, well done, because we didn't have a clue.
If there's someone home predicting this podium, or Bradley on top, it is like the guy who predicted the Monza podium in 2020 and got that right. If you heard about that guy.
I think it is. That guy might be in the commentary, might be in the comment section here tonight, is making that prediction right now. Who knows? Bradley out on top though. So I get in second, Torenheim in third. I still can't believe we're only on lap 13, basically going on, and it feels like we've been going about half an hour at this stage in this race. Bradley though leading the way. Sidegate though looks like he's got good pace. I'd be more concerned though about his tyre wear. If these dry conditions obviously come in the next few laps, around lap 17, 18 as I say, we are going to see maybe a little bit of overheating in terms of the tyres from the front two, and that will bring, therefore, Torenheim, Atlas Coppo, Jamie all into play.
That's true, and as we see now, we have Sagan, Torenheim, Jamie, Roygaard, Axel, Passel, and Silas with penalties, and this is track offers a lot of time penalty, of course, and I think that is going to affect a lot of the end positions here tonight.
Yeah, definitely. Well, there are the penalties for you guys at home. Passes with that 10-second penalty, as I say, that might get removed, to be honest. So, take 10 seconds off. He is then, I think, in the podiums. Actually, I believe it or not, I'm saying that now. I think he might be in the podiums if he does have that 10-second penalty taken off. But that's only now. Obviously, there's still more racing to come.
If he removes 10 seconds now, right now he's P6 with Roygaard. They're really close on it.
P6. So yeah, so he'd be getting good amount of points, I think, the Alfa Romeo out on track at this point in time. Cygate though is catching Bradley, 1.6 seconds down the gap for the lead of the race. We're about to go into the halfway stage, into the second half of the race here, which I can guarantee you it's probably going to be dry by the end of the race. But Cygate now looks quite quick on the back of Bradley. Speaking of quick, Storm on the back of Axel was going to cut to him, and now the Williams is going to have to try and force the issue here. The Mercedes tries to maybe do up and under, coming through turn number 12, and then switch back out of 13, is what I'm thinking. As Axel goes too deep, Storm up and under, up the inside through turn 13, and that's the job done to Storm through, and he's into 7. Axel, though, is still there on the inside line, doing a fantastic job. Storm's on now on the outside line, traction will come into effect, and he gets the job done as Benjamin is round, coming out of turn 14. I think he just purely went off track there, didn't pick up any damage, but Storm is through and he's into 7. Nice battle that, a nice move by Storm, clean as a whistle, and he's through and he's into 7. By the way, I'll alert your attention to Torenheim. He's getting nearly 2 seconds on the back of Bradley and Cygate over the last 2 laps.
Torenheim, absolutely incredible pace tonight, and also we do have a small battle between Atlas Cope with Jamie and Roygard now for P4 here, as Jamie and Roygard are close in a lot now.
Yeah, so Jamie on the back.
Sorry about that, but Jamie and Roygard battling for the championship last season in F5. Jamie taking it at the end, and I think they're going to get a few flashbacks if they're going to fight now. So I do remember they had a lot of great fights last season.
Yeah, they definitely did. Torenheim's taken another 5/10 of a second out of Cygate and another 5/10 of a second out of Bradley. So that in turn means he is the fastest man out on track at this point. I wouldn't be surprised if he actually sets the new fastest lap of the race next lap around. I'm still on board with Jamie though, on the back of Atlas Cope, who's not going to be close enough down the straight here. I believe Kermit possibly might have just... No, Janzu I think has just made a mistake there when way too deep in towards turn 13. The timing suddenly changed on my screen there. But Bradley holding the lead, Cygate there in second, and that's the problem. Cygate now is beginning to lose time even to Bradley. His tyres are going to the 9s, basically. They're overheating in terms of the temperature, and with, obviously, him catching the white lines, catching the curbs, that is going to really, really trouble him, I think, for this rest of the race, because the Aston Martin there in second, Torenheim's going to be a lot quicker than him. Yes, they've got penalties. Torenheim, I wouldn't be surprised if he's on the back of Cygate in 3 laps.
Yeah, Torenheim closing in a lot, and also Atlas Cope, I think has been closing in the gap a little bit, around 1.7, 1.6 now, and Copo have picked up the pace there. He sets in the fastest lap of the race so far, and their Storm puts in the fastest lap, 146.7. So, I think the track is having some improvements now, as Storm said at the start, or between the qualifying races, that at the end of the race it was going to dry up. So in the end, I maybe between lap 20 and 23, I would guess the drivers would head for the soft tires and ready to stop.
Oh, Cygate's just nearly had a right moment coming out of turn number 9. That was a big correction from Cygate. He actually gained 0.2 of a second because of that correction, though, which is unbelievable. Cygate there in second. Big moment, but still going there in the podiums, in second position for now. Of course, penalties will be applied at the end of this race. Atlas Copo is gaining on Torenheim. Torenheim is sort of gaining now on Cygate, but Atlas Copo certainly has got the pace. Looks like he's a lot neater on his tyres as well so far in this race. The AlphaTauri getting onto the back of the Aston Martin, and these two, I know that these two have had a good battle in the past, because I believe they've fought out for a race win once in F4 a few seasons back, and Torenheim there in third, Atlas Copo in fourth. Jamie and Roygard, though, technically new kids on the block, 5th and 6th, don't rule them out either.
Salas picks up a 3-second time penalty, and now there are only 4 drivers who haven't got a penalty. It's Bradley, Atlas Copo, Storm, and Kermit.
Yeah, and speaking of Kermit, he's coming through turn 16, 17, 18 through Verstappen corner, and he is catching Axel, so this could be potentially the next move to come out on track, because Atlas Copel, I think, just made a mistake at the final corner there on the timings, and Covens just made a mistake in towards turn 20, so this move is not going to be pulling off anytime soon. So, overheating those tyres maybe slightly. Gap has come down for the lead of the race, though, as Jamie actually is going side by side with Atlas Copel. All of a sudden, where's this come from? Jamie gets through on Atlas Copel. Jamie Thurney's into fourth. That came out of absolutely nothing. That must have been a mistake from Atlas Copel, surely.
It must have been, yeah. And great work there from Jamie getting himself up to P4. Now he is in the lead of this small train, and now the task is for him to catch up to the Aston Martins.
Yeah, the two Aston Martins are looking quite strong. Tonheim's obviously pulled away now because Jamie and Atlas Copel are starting the battle. Gap was under 2 seconds. It's now 2.1, so the gap is extending now. But Roygaard on the back of Atlas Copel. Again, these two have had good battles this season in F4, and we'll see what the Ferrari can do as Axel is round coming out of turn number 11. He's the wrong way at the minute. He gets the car rotated back in the right direction. And he's going to be passed by Janzu and possibly by Passels to the end of the straight there. So, Axel down into P10. And I think he's going to probably remain there, to be honest, in towards turn number 12. Doesn't want to try and go for the Noisy move that we saw in TTML F2 last night, where Noisy came from an absolute other country to try and get the move done on Slash, and did get the move done and overtaken the season. Actually, Axel gets the job done, does he, on the outside line, in towards turn number 13, 14, now through 15, he's got the up and under. Catches the curb though, gets centre into spin, and he loses position as well because that goes Passels through, and he's into P10. And Axel's just applying the throttle too heavy on the exit of the corners. Bit of light touch, he'll get there.
And now in the top as well, the gaps are closing because at the start after the safety car came in, I saw the gaps were at 3 and 4 seconds between the top 5 drivers, and now they're all of the gaps are around 1.5 seconds.
Yeah, gap is second. Atlas Copel and Roygaard's looking quite close as well, coming to the S's, coming through 3, 4, 5, and then turn 6. Roygaard on the back of Atlas Copel. Sunderland, by the way, in terms of the match that I'm looking at on Sheffield Wednesday, they're all over them at the minute, which is very good indeed to see. And the red-white and... Oh, the red and white, actually, of Sunderland is obviously on the Ferrari here, so because Roygaard's on the back of Atlas Copel, in towards turn number 11. Atlas Copel goes wide. The rain is beginning to stop, actually, out on track. So, lap 17, 18, you know, I might be right in terms of the rain stopping here. Roygaard's though going side by side with Atlas Copel. Ferrari on the back of the AlphaTauri, running down towards turn number 12. He has to pick up the slipstream. Is he going to think about a cheeky lunge down the inside? No. Roygaard holds sway and actually does force the issue in towards turn 12 because that's a mistake by Atlas Copel. And Roygaard, absolutely beautiful move that. He's into 5th, gets the job done. All out of Atlas Copel. Slight correction into the corner. Roygaard through and he's into 5th, and that's where you need to be. You need to be on the ball and really, really safe in terms of your moves. Roygaard did exactly that, and he's through and he's into 5th.
Roygaard up to 5th area, and now Storm as well on the back before we have a big gap to up the curve again.
Rain has definitely eased off though out on track. Lap 18 out of 28. James, my prediction actually might be not too bad in terms of the conditions actually improving out on track. Rain is stopping, that's what we can say. Whether or not it'll stop on this lap or not remains to be seen. If it does though, you can put the Euro Millions on a little bit later on. Bradley though out on top, Sygate in second, Torenheim in third, Jamie in 4th, Jamie beginning to get closer to Torenheim, and all of a sudden it looks like the top 3 have dropped off in terms of their pace. Jamie now suddenly the quickest man out on track. He picked up the fastest lap last time around as well, and he's there in 4th. And the Red Bull is looking quite quick now. He's getting into his groove, but that groove potentially could be hindered by the interchanging conditions that is going to be happening possibly at the end of this lap, because the rain is definitely still easing out on track, even on lap 18.
It's not raining a lot now, and I think he will give it 3 or 4 laps, and the soft tires or it's gonna in 3, 4, maybe maximum 5 laps is gonna dry up.
Yeah, definitely. So, yeah, it's one thing obviously for the rain to stop, and then it's another for it to actually dry up the track. This track, though, does dry quite quick. It's 1 minute and 40 lap time, basically, in the inters. So, therefore, it's going to dry a lot quicker than what you would see. Passels, by the way, is on the back of Janzu, running down the straight in towards turn number 12. Just saw that on the graphics there, but Janzu pulls away from Passels in towards turn number 12. Should be Janzu's move, and yeah, he holds P9 for now. Passels there in P10. Got close, not close enough from the Belgians' perspective, but Torenheim now within a second of side gate. Jamie now within 5/10 of a second of Torenheim. Battle for second seems to be the one that we're going to focus on at this moment in time in the race.
So I was just taking a look at some things in the Discord, and some important stuff going on. I just had to quickly check. So it's not told anywhere where I'm going.
Yeah, battle for second, still looking quite good though. Sygate, Torenheim, Jamie, all filtering now in terms of the positions. If you're wondering what I was doing now, I was shutting my curtains because it's getting very dark, and I'm going to put my light on so I can see better, which is very good for my perspective, for my eyesight as well. Janzu though, P9, Passels P10, Axel there P11, out on track. It's Bradley though, still holding the lead. We cannot take away from Bradley at all.
Oh no! Torenheim into the wall! No! And that is right that his brother gets into the chat and says to go Ronheim, and then he goes into the wall. Which is what he predicted before the race. Stian, get out of here. You're just messing up your brother. I can say that because me and Stian were best friends.
Do I dare say that was ultimate karma, possibly from the brother there, Torenheim?
Oh no.
He was in a really good position though. He was third. He was on the back of Sygate. He's now in the wall though, and obviously with front wing damage like that, you're gonna be coming in the pit lane, and that will mean Kermit, Janzu, Passels. Do you know what? If I was Torenheim, I'd go on to a set of dry compound tyres because that rain is gonna stop by the end of this lap. I would come in, set of soft compound tyres. They might not work initially, but later on in the stint, they will work. So Torenheim has got no choice but to come in for a set of softs here.
Exactly. And I gotta say, I love the last four comments in the chat. Go Reinheim. Oh lord, my bad. I'm leaving.
That's the effect that he has. The rain has stopped though. The rain has stopped now out on track on lap 20 of 28. Going on to lap 20, so we'll count that as technically lap 19. So, therefore, my prediction... not too bad, not too bad, just a lap or two off. But Bradley out on top, Sygate second, Jamie in third, Roger there in fourth, Atlas Copa in fifth, Storm in sixth. The top six now begins to be split by around 5 seconds out on track. It's looking quite good. Torenheim has taken my advice though, gone for that set of soft compound tyres. He had no choice really. It's going to be 2 or 3 laps until they actually dry up. The spray's still going to be kicking out on track, but track dries. We saw in qualifying how quick the track drew, the track dried obviously. And that will mean, Torenheim, if he gets control of those tyres on this wet stuff, I think he's got a chance possibly of undercutting a few of these guys.
Oh, Torenheim spins.
No.
Out of there.
As soon as I say that. As soon as I say that, Steinmeier said Ranheim to come back to podium. No. I'm literally, yeah, I think I've just commentated, cursed him, haven't I, there? So I've just, my controller on the floor. As Bradley still holds the lead, but we cannot take anything away from this race from Bradley's perspective because he's done an awesome job. Speaking of doing an awesome job, Atlas Copa was in the wall coming out turn number 12.
No, he's out of the race.
Safety car, or is that off track? Looks like it's off track to me. Coming out of turn 7. Just seeing that on the minimap, has been focusing on Battles and Janzu going out for P8 and 9. But Torenheim out of the session. Andy Campbell, by the way, still going. He's also had a yellow flag in the middle sector. And clearly it's not softs, but they had to go for that compound tyre. There was no other choice but to. Bradley, though, leading the way. Sygate in second, Jamie in third, Roygard in fourth. And I'm definitely challenging Steinmeier there in the comment section by channeling our energies into commentators cursing them out on track.
I'm sorry for laughing here and now in the background, but first of all, we see Stian getting into the chat, so Torenheim's brother is saying, go Ronheim, then it goes like 10 seconds and he crashed. Then he says, Ronheim to come back for podium, and then he crashed out of the race.
Yeah, and then he's just got no. Yeah.
That's your fault, Stian.
No, it's my fault. I'll take full responsibility. I'm a new commentator here in TTML F4, so I take full responsibility of everything that goes on in this stream tonight. Bradley, though, leads the way, so I get in second, Jamie there in third. Steinmeier saying as well, might I be the worst luck of the year? One word answer, yes.
Benjamin with another penalty now, and at the end of the race, between maybe Storm could get up to the podium, considering he doesn't have any penalties, and he's behind 4 drivers with a penalty.
Yeah, definitely, but still, Spray being kicked out of track, this is going to be a very late call, I've got to be honest, going for a set of dries. Around here with Sygate's nearly spun, and now Jamie's going to take full action of that down the inside line into turn 15, tries to get the job done on the inside line. Sygate, to be fair, is on the outside line now for the inside of 16, 17 and 18, going to throw him off camber of the corner, and Sygate picked up a 3-second penalty, and that was like Max Verstappen all over again from 2018. Sygate overtook him off track, picked up a 3-second penalty. Verstappen didn't pick up a 3-second penalty there, but Sygate did, and he gets there into second, off track. Jamie there in third, Roygaard in fourth, and the Dutchman now against the Brit, about to go at it again. Oh, look at Jamie's speed. Jamie's going to have this one, I think, down towards turn number 1. I wouldn't be surprised if Roygaard tries to get an up and under on both of these coming in towards turn 1 either, but Jamie gets the job done on Sygate. He's into P2, and Roygaard now tries to go around the outside into turn number 1, through turn number 2, switch back of the century in towards turn number 3. Andy Campbell has ran, and that's a lovely move by Roygaard. Thurneys into P4. Balls of steel, beautiful move, and he's Thurneys into P3, and that took a lot of Dutch courage, but the Norwegian through, and he's into third. Great move, that.
Dane.
The Dane, sorry. Scandinavians are the same, I think.
Whoa, hold up, wait a minute. Nah. Okay, I know all Scandinavians, we understand each other, but not Danes, because they talk with a potato in their throat. That's what us Norwegians say, because it's so hard to understand them. So even though like most of us can understand each other, like I'm going to Sweden next week, and I can understand everyone in the grocery store there, but still, no, Scandinavians are not right, because if I can say this on stream, it's no swearing, just inside joke from Scandinavians. Us Norwegians, we talk bad about the Swedish people. The Swedish, they talk bad about us. And they're just sitting there talking bad about both of us.
Mark in the chat's just said James is about to get the Vikings after him. I totally agree. Bradley leads the way. Jamie. Yeah, the Vikings definitely are going to be coming after me. But maybe to use a bit of a reference that's obviously coming up next week, I think Roygaard gave Sygate the banana there. Come on, gotta get that.
Gotta get that there.
Did you get it?
No.
No, give that wolf a banana. It's the Norway song for Eurovision. There you go.
Yeah, so as old school said, James won't get Vikings after him. You have to lock your door and close your windows tonight, mate.
Yeah, close your windows, hide in underneath a blanket because I might be coming for you at the end of the stream. Bradley leads the way, Jamie in second, Roygaard there in third. Good battle still going on between Janzu and Passels, by the way. The track doesn't look like it's going to actually dry up towards the end of the race. We're, 5 laps basically from the end of the race. Bradley leads the way, Jamie in second, Roygaard in third. Do you see this track actually drying out before the end? Because I'm getting deja vu that I might not, as Storm is right on the back of Sygate. Sygate's had made a major mistake coming out of turn number 3, as Axel is now round, I think. Somebody's round in the middle sector anyways. Was that Andy Campbell? It's Andy Campbell round. Sorry, Storm though, getting through on Sygate. He's through and he's into 4th.
Yeah, let's take a look at this then. Bradley has a 3-second time penalty. Storm is in P4, 5 seconds behind, and there's 5 laps to go, and I'm gonna guess that the last 2-3 laps is gonna be dry. So this is gonna be interesting. We have a question in chat. Chom is saying, asking, many rounds again this season. Isn't it 4 more races, or 3 or 4 more races?
We've got Mexico, then we've got Monza Sprint and Feature Race in 2 weeks' time, and then we have got the season finale in Abu Dhabi, I believe, if I'm not mistaken. So we've only got 3 rounds after tonight, as Jamie is suddenly all over the back of Bradley for the race lead.
Season final is Brazil, not Abu Dhabi.
Oh, Brazil.
TTML has a finale at Abu Dhabi.
I thought it was going to be, I was going to say Brazil, and then I went back on it and thought, yeah, it's going to be Abu Dhabi, but there you go. See, that's what happens when I don't have the calendar in front of me. Bradley leads the way, Jamie in second, Roygaard in third. Jamie, though, all of a sudden, Bradley is starting to step off in terms of the pace. Either he's made a mistake, or he's just lost a bit of confidence now on those tyres, because Jamie now is all over the back of him, and the Red Bull surely is going to be on. potentially, I would say, for the race win. Storm, however, I think it's now 4 seconds, the gap between him and Bradley. So Storm, do not count him out. He potentially could be getting a race win here.
The difference now between Bradley, Jamie, Roygaard and Storm is that Storm 30% DRS, Roygaard 45 and using, Jamie 25 and using, Bradley 70. He has a lot to defend with. As Jamie is gonna look on the inside, is gonna send it. He tries to go on the inside, he's on the inside. Does he get it? He gets it. What a move. Now he's no longer in the Ferrari sandwich.
Beautiful move that by Jamie through, as Bradley nearly touched the rear end there of the Red Bull, but Jamie threw and he's into the lead of the race, and that was a beautiful move. He's through and he's into the lead, and now, of course, coming down in 7th, big swing in terms of the championship, I may add as well, and Jamie now in clear air, looks the quicker driver. He's on 2 lap pressure tyres compared to Bradley. Bradley's tyres are now beginning to overheat. Spray still being kicked off the circuit at this point. It didn't look as bad a lap ago. Are we going to see... potentially Storm, Cygate, one of those two coming in the pit lane, set of softs, and then try and get a massive undercut with 3 laps to go? I think we're going to...
There's going to be at least one driver here trying for soft now at 10. And now, Storm 3.9 behind Jamie, and I think everyone in top 3, let's take a look. Now, Roygaard has 6 seconds of time penalty, of Bradley and Jamie is at 3. So, I think Roygaard's podium is gone.
Oh! Axel's gone into the back of Passel's. Passel was going to try and get the move done. He's booked too early for the corner as Passel's. And Axel is got left side end plate damage. So he is going to be pretty much out of this contention now in this race. Pretty much out of contention anyways. But left side end plate damage on the car. And he is now down in P10 as Bradley has lost position to Roygaard. And that was a switcheroo for the Ferraris.
Yeah, maybe some team orders there as... Roygaard has the most penalties and he needs to increase the gap.
He does need to increase the gap, and he needs to increase the gap quite a lot in these final couple of laps. We've only got 3 laps to go. There's going to be no VSCs or safety cars incoming, so therefore it is not going to be dry towards the end of the race, and that will mean, even though the track is drying off track, it doesn't look like, unless DRS gets enabled, imagine if DRS gets enabled and these guys are still on inters, that will be like Bambi on ice come the end of the race, but we'll have to wait and see. Passels, by the way, still on the back of Janzu. He's trying to get the move done, but again, with Passels, I've seen it so many times with Passels, where he's in behind a driver as Andy Campbell picks up another penalty. I've seen it with so many drivers, so many times with Passels. He's on the back of a driver, yet he doesn't want to go for the move, and I think maybe he now might go for the move. As soon as I say that, he's on the outside line in towards 10-15 and tries to react from Janju's mistake, but again, didn't get the throttle out as Atlas Copo is into the pit lane from 6th position. This has got to be set us off, surely. Was it from wing change? No, softs. Yeah, soft compound size for Atlas Copo. He's on in out of the pit lane, and I think he's going to be out of Passels, possibly coming out the pit lane here as well. It's whether or not he can get those tyres on, and I tell you what he might do, because it's DRS enabled with 3 laps to go. Atlas Copo is out of the pit lane. This will be the biggest defining point in this race. If I was Jamie, if I was Roygaard, if I was the top 5, I'd stay out. I would really stay out, because I'd be holding... I think they're going to hold that positions anyways.
Oh, Silas crashed out. I'm getting flashbacks here on F1 2019 game. I'm going to take it quickly. I had a league race. Silverstone stopped raining. Lap 26 of 28. I went into the pit. This P2 driver stayed out. I came out 26 seconds behind him with 2 laps to go. And I overtook for the lead into the 3rd sector on the last lap. I'm getting those flashbacks here for Atlas Copo, as it was one of his teammates in OWR that I was fighting with as well. And this is also giving me Russia 2021 while with Lando Norris and Lewis Hamilton.
If Atlas Copo gains 29 seconds in... Oh, as Jamie's coming in the pits! What's he done?
Jamie, why? You can't! You gotta stay out, mate! No! This is gonna be hard for him. But again, with the Atlas Copo as well, there are a few small wet spots around the track. So it is going to be hard.
Oh, I
but
tell
I
you-
think is this going to be faster?
Atlas Coppo's getting 2 seconds in the final sector alone. The track is increasing. Where is Jamie going to come out? Jamie's behind Kermit coming out of the pit lane, but he's not too far behind. Big for the championship, even bigger for the race. Roygaard, Bradley, Ferrari 1-2 at this minute. The Mercedes there in third. Cygate there in fourth, the Aston Martin. They've all got to stay out now in a set of Inters. Jamie, though, was so much quicker than Kermit. Already, look at him. He's now on the back of Kermit, even through the S section, and Jamie has got to try and think about going for this move. I think it's going to be out of turn 7, around the outside and towards turn 8 and 9. This is the job done here from Jamie, and there's collision between them both, and Kermit does not like that, and Kermit shuts the door on him. So Jamie now, much fresher tyres, on the back of Kermit. That has potentially just held him up an absolute lot, and Jamie now, down the inside line, gets the job done on Kermit, and he's now through and he's into 5th. Gap between himself and the leader, 14.4 seconds. Is that enough to close the gap?
He do have penalties as well, but he's going to be there at the end as we are on our second last lap now, and the track is dried.
Oh
it's
my
all
God.
dried out. I'm going to take a look. I'm going to go on board with one of the Ferraris to see how
might
it's
do
going
this.
for him.
Jamie's going to do this, I think. 11.8 seconds, 11.6, 11.3. I'm on board with the leader timings at this stage. 10.9.
Jamie's taking this.
Jamie is
my
going to
God.
gain 10 seconds. Atlas Copel, by the way, is only 15 seconds behind as well. Atlas
And he
Copel
doesn't have
potentially... He doesn't have penalty. Atlas Copel could potentially win this race still. This is unbelievable. Roygaard leads the way into the final lap of the race. Bradley there in second, Storm in third, Cygate in fourth, and the gap is now 7 seconds between Jamie and Roygaard.
Oh
This is absolutely incredible. Late pit stop
through
has
the
worked. He
S's
goes into
now.
the back of Cygate. Oh my goodness me. Nearly goes into the back of Cygate, gets the job done though out of turn number 1, and he just sails on by if he's not even there. Atlas Copel, 12 seconds off the leaders. He's going to be 10 seconds coming through the S section. And now Jamie is
but
only 4
Jamie's
seconds off the
closing in
lead.
now.
He's going to win easy.
So much faster through this now. We're heading into the second sector, and there is Storm. Look how slow it's
Oh
going.
my God.
Jamie, look at this! It's absolutely incredible. He has the first right in front of him now. He does have the DRS. He's gonna get this so easily.
Oh my God.
Almost gets into the back of Bradley here as well.
Oh,
And
look at the
look at that switch back. Oh my God, what a move from Jamie. Even though he has a much better tire, you gotta admit that was.
And look,
Oh my God.
don't rule out Atlas Copel either. He's 5 seconds. He's 4 seconds off the back of Roygaard.
Oh my God.
4 seconds. He's going to gain up in 2 corners at this rate. Because now, Atlas Copel there in 5th. This is one mad ending to a race, by the way. Jamie's going to win absolutely brilliantly out in front. But it's whether or not Atlas Copel can get P2. Purple in the middle sector. Overtakes Storm out of turn
Look at him,
13.
look at
And the
him.
2 Ferraris are coming through. 15, 16 just in front of him. So Atlas Copel, is he going to go around the outside of both of them? He gets one there. Are they around the outside, potentially? He tries to go for the inside, he has to get the gap, and he does! Atlas Copel through and he's into
So much
second,
faster.
but with the penalties...
Jamie through the last corner now. He's going to take the victory, even with the penalties, and well done to him. Look at Atlas Copel coming by. He also got up to P2 here. What a work from these two drivers, and still mad respect to the Ferrari, the Storm there, and everyone else trying to finish on the intermediate, and Storm gets the podium by 3/10 in front of Bradley. What an ending to a race. Absolutely amazing. I love it. I love it. Kermit up to P6 after penalties. Wow. Absolutely incredible.
There's not
And I can
often...
say that the top 6 in this race, the top 6 drivers in this race, is the top 6 in the championship as well.
Wow, that is unbelievable. Jamie though was getting so...
sorry.
Yeah, Kermit's 6th.
I said one mistake there. One mistake. So Bradley was not the top 6, but still, Jamie, Atlas Copel, Storm, Roygaard, Kermit, they are top 6, all of them. Now we also have Mike, of course, in here, but he didn't finish. But what an ending to the race! Wow, I enjoyed that one.
There's not often I'm speechless in commentary, and I am speechless in commentary tonight. I joked 3 laps ago and said if Atlas Copel wins this race, he potentially... what did I say? I would give him a 5 or something, I think it was. But he finished 2nd, so luckily I keep my own money in my own pocket, as Andy Campbell sends for a spin at the final corner. He's got to be careful he doesn't get disqualified just before the line here. But Andy Campbell to the line, finishes in P12 under his own volition for a bit of fun. Legend saying, I effing love it, Jamie. Jamie saying as well, 250 that, James. Yeah, it might have to be. Bradley, though, to be fair, 16th up to 4th, drove an absolute awesome race in his first stint. Brilliant drive from him. Gets driver of the day by the in-game fans. There's only one man, driver of the day, giving out 3 copies of F1 2021, as you normally do. It is Jamie on the top step of the podium. Led the championship coming in tonight. Kermit finishing 6th. Big points haul for Jamie. He now gets a 20-point advantage, I think, going into next week, of course, in Mexico. But Jamie out on top. I want to relive those last two laps all over again, because that was absolutely incredible.
Yeah, it was just insane. I gotta give it 50-50 on the drive today to Jamie and Bradley. Bradley P17 to P4, and Jamie with that strategy choice at the end there, also picking up the fastest lap of the race. So a lot of points there. So yeah, James, take us through the result.
And it's Jamie out on top, supporting the Ukrainian cause as well, which is really good to see. But it's Jamie out on top, fastest lap of the race. He gets an extra point as well on top of that. So Atlas Coppola there in 2nd, Storm in 3rd, Bradley in 4th, Roy got there in 5th, Kermit there in 6th, Sygate in 7th, Janzu in 8th, Axel finishing off in P9, Passels in 10th, Benjamin only 2/10 per second off Passels in the end in 11th because of penalties. Andy Campbell there finishing under his own volition in 12th. Sardas, Torenheim, what could have been for Torenheim? Denand as well. Tonchik and Iverbrin literally set off about 26 laps of this race, to be honest, the Welshman. But he obviously crashed out very early on in this race. What an unbelievable ending to that was. Jamie out on top. Shall we try and get the top 3 in?
Yeah, I'll ask them. I don't think Storm is going to go in, as he never joins the interview, but Jamie is, I am 100% sure he's in, and maybe Atlas Copo.
Yeah, I know I've done interviews with Storm in the past, and he normally joins when I'm commentating, so maybe joining this occasion. But yeah,
he never joins me.
He never joined you, but there we are. We'll ask them, obviously. You've just asked them there in the chat. Roy God saying, I vomit over sun unrealistic. Don't know what that means, but yeah, I'm guessing it's because of the weather.
Probably some Danish things, I don't know.
Yeah, probably so. Bradley saying I missed the podium in an interview on 2/10 of a second. He missed. Jamie Conn coming for an interview, unfortunately. Oh, I wish I could interview him, honestly, because that was an incredible ending to that race. But there is a thumbs up. I believe it's Atlas Copa that I believe is going to be coming into the interviews. It is indeed. So we'll get Atlas Copa win, certainly. But what a unbelievable ending. If you predicted that ending from a few laps back, I said it would ease off about 19 laps in. Bang on, pretty much, in terms of my prediction. Didn't expect it to dry up, because we were convinced in the commentary box that wasn't going to dry up. It did dry up. Produced maybe one of the best endings to a race I think I've probably ever witnessed in my league commentary career. That is what TTML 4 does to you.
TTML 4. Absolutely amazing. And we do have my fellow Norwegian into the voice chat. The driver got P2 today with that amazing choice at the end there to go into soft. What made you go into soft tires there? Let's go, Bo.
Hello guys. That was my teammate Ivan and my fellow other Norwegian Torenheim, who was pushing me to go for the softs. They were just asking me to pit 3 laps earlier and 2 laps earlier and 1 lap earlier, and we said no risk, no reward, and we want to make a show at the end of the stream. So then I just risked it. We thought it was too wet, but it worked out.
It worked out really well. And for the race today, have been practicing a lot. We're looking forward to it. What do you think about the track?
Yeah, if you got the flow, it's a good track, but it's a difficult one. I always spin, and I don't feel I have the best race pace, and I didn't have any practice on wet, so I was struggling a lot at the start. But it ended all good. I was gambling on a dry setup as well, because I hoped it was getting dry at the end of the race. So, yeah.
What were I going to say now?
But Jamie, I have to congratulate Jamie. He was insanely fast. He drove past me a couple of times. And yeah, I had no chance on his pace.
Jamie were amazing. And before I jump over to James, as my tradition with Norwegians in their interview, I have to say to Norwegian as well, gratulerer med podiet, vel fortjent.
Takk, takk.
So,
Tack is thank you, I think.
You can go over. I love it. Yeah, obviously, give him some questions as well. Try this Norwegian stuff.
That was unbelievable. I joked in commentary because I literally thought, why is he coming in for set of softs? The track is still like inters. And then you came out the pit lane, DRS got enabled. That must have been music to your ears coming out the pit lane.
Yeah, I just had to take off my headset because the other guys in the chat was just making so much noise. They were so happy when DRS got activated. So yeah, they were screaming. Just Ivan and Torbjörn. Yeah.
Yeah, it was unbelievable to watch. And as I say, I joked in commentary and I said you had 29 seconds, I made it up, on the leader timing coming out of the pit lane to try and gain that. And I said, if you obviously pick up that amount of time, I owe you a $5. But I said that's if you win the race. So I'm glad you finished from P2 tonight.
Yeah, but I also saw that I had not much to lose. I would only drop one position if yeah. I thought, why not?
Yeah, it was still a solid drive from your perspective. Obviously, going into next week, because Buck's going to be back obviously next week, so I'm not going to be here. F4 in Mexico next week. How do you think you're going to take to the track?
It's a track you need to do some prac on, but I will go for the podium. The season final, I will be in Greece, so I will make this my season final and go for the win.
Hopefully it's a season finale, of course, that you can actually much be proud of, and obviously you can now go and enjoy your evening, maybe with a cold beer as well.
Thank you, guys. I will, absolutely. And I will watch the Formula 1 practice from earlier in repeat, yeah.
Oh yeah, and the other one, of course, is coming up in an hour's time as well, so that's going to be very interesting. Go and enjoy your evening though, Atlas Scopo.
Thank you, guys.
You are very welcome indeed. And I do not believe we're having anybody else join the party unless you want to try and get Bradley in, because I know Jamie put a comment in saying that Bradley deserves an interview because of his performance here tonight.
Can check with him if he wants to, though.
As everyone, well, he's asked if there's interviews, so I'm presuming he'll be available for one.
Yeah, I'll add him to the voice chat. Was he? I think was he on? He was podium on track, I think.
Yeah, he was. He was podium on track, but Storm with penalties finished third, so that was a result. Yeah, but yeah, he said yes, so he should be coming in. You can invite him along, obviously, and he should be coming in very soon indeed. So what's your appetite more, by the way, for TTML F1 on Sunday in America? Hopefully, we're going to be having the debut of VSR Jensen. Yes, our championship leader is now part of Visceral Racing, and that will whet your appetite even more because he has just come back from surgery of getting his appendix removed, which is a horrible, horrible thing, but it is good to see that he's going to be making his return back after a week's layoff in TTML F1. Wish him all the best, of course, in his recovery. I know he's been resting up a lot in another league that I obviously do commentary for, so Jensen, if you might be watching this, or you might be watching this on playback, we are thinking of you, and hopefully it's going to be a good race on Sunday as well. But obviously, we are now expecting Bradley, I think, into the commentary box. Oh, he's here! Oh, goodness me, I didn't even see you join! P4 for you out on track, though. Obviously, with the penalties, Storm picking up P3. You drove a really, really good first stint, though. Talk us through it. Apparently we can't hear you in the stream. I'm looking at the comments there. So everyone has just missed your lovely voice there in answering that question.
Yep, I now allow it. I think.
Should be allowed. Everything good in the chat? Let me know, and then we can conduct the interview again.
Hello?
Yeah, just waiting for comment to come through.
Yeah. Yeah, I will begin from the beginning. Poor qualifying for me. Only did 1 lap and spawned in my 6th gear. So I started from the back, had a really good stint on the wets. Paired early under the safety car to the inters, and it went well. Got P1, and then at the last 2 laps, yeah, it went too dry, and Jamie and Atlascopo pitted for softs. They overtook me, and Storm didn't have penalties, so that was P4.
Yeah, P4 obviously out on track. Obviously with that penalty you must be disappointed that you didn't pick up a podium, but still, a phenomenal drive from your perspective. Talk us through though, obviously, that, what was I going to think? I've just lost my train of thought there, to be honest, so apologies about that.
Oh no, it's okay.
It'll come back to me eventually. Pariah though, in the meantime, while I think, do you have any questions?
Hello.
Hey.
I don't think so. Except from Bradley. Should we do another Fortnite game soon again?
Yeah, we can check. We will play another one.
We need some more duo victories.
We need to win.
Well, speaking
we always
of
come second place.
I'll come in again, and speaking of winning, of course, Mexico is next week. How do you think your chances are around there? Because if you can do a last of pretty much first challenge and then finish P4 tonight, surely you're going to be close to a race win next week.
I'm not even sure I can race then.
Uh-oh.
Terrible. Terrible.
Yeah, I know, very terrible.
But if you do turn up, how do you think you'll get on around that track? Because I think Mexico is a track that you might necessarily like, I hope.
For me it's one of the better tracks, so I hope there's not a big problem. I think if I can race, maybe podium is possible.
Yeah, hopefully not. Hopefully it is going to be a really good race if you do obviously come and attend obviously next week in F4. Go and enjoy your evening though, Bradley.
Thank you, you too.
You are very welcome indeed, and that rounds us up very nicely. Thank you very much, of course, to Atlas Copo and to Jamie, and to Bradley, sorry. I'm reading the comments and Jamie's coming through on the left-hand side, that's why. And to Bradley, of course, for the interviews. We are going to be back, of course, live and exclusive on Twitch on Sunday night. It is TTML F1, of course. If, however, you want to have something that is going to be whetting your appetite even more tomorrow night, I have been told to shout this out by Kermit's perspective. There is a PC competition starting on Saturday for the TTG esports team. There is a link, I think, within the Discord, TTG_esports on Twitch, if you do want to give a follow. That is going to be the first round of the PC competition that TTG are taking part in. So, if you do want to compete, if you do want to see some action there, of course you can. I believe, I don't know what time it is, but I believe, I dare say it's 8 o'clock UK time, I think? I don't know. Let me have a look. I don't want to be giving false information out on this on the channel, but I'll check and see if there is anything about the event coming up. I can't seem to find it anywhere. But there's an event happening tomorrow. TTG Esports is covering it. Go and tune in for that if you do want to be a part of course. And obviously, you might see me there if it is late enough, possibly in the stream as well. There we go. I've got it up now. Luke Etheridge is doing the commentary for it. It is a no-assist PC platform event. €15 entry, €100 for the running team race with a free tyre choice and a 5-race championship as well. And that, of course, will start, I believe, tomorrow night as well. So the PC competition obviously taking place there. Hopefully you can tune in for that. We're waffling on, I've got to say it tonight on the stream. But Pariah, I'm going to come across back to you. Final thoughts and driver of the day.
Incredible race from start to finish, in qualifying as well, with getting some hot laps on the dry tires at the last minutes. Then we had how it dried up just at the end of the race. Jamie and Atlas Copo, amazing drive for them. Drives there for me, 50-50, Jamie and Bradley. Bradley with his incredible drive from P17 to P3 on track, P4 after penalties, and Jamie with that master plan there at the end, getting the victory with that strategy as well. And Mexico next week gonna be really interesting. Looking really forward to commentating and driving as well. I will have to try and get the third podium in a row, of course. That would be nice, but I hate the next track as well, as it is one of my worst tracks ever, and I could switch it out with any tracks in the world.
Hopefully you can switch it out with another track, hopefully. I'm desperately not wanting to end the stream because I want to tell you what the Sunderland score is. We're winning 1-0 and it's 90 plus 3 minutes at the minute. So, hopefully Sunderland is going to hang on for the first leg win in the playoff semi-final. I'm praying that we do. But I think we're probably going to end off here. My drive of the day, though, for me, Bradley. I think his first stint was so much better, obviously, than Jamie's. Jamie's was a bit further down the field. Bradley from, obviously, 17th up to 1st. Then, obviously, the dry compound tyres came. Jamie was absolutely electric out on track, 10 seconds quicker at parts of the track than everyone else around him. And Jamie, of course, takes the win. But for me, Bradley just edges it for driver of the day. So, you being 50-50... I think I'll have to go with Bradley for driver of the day tonight, and congratulations to you on that one. But we're going to end it off here. Of course, more action to come on Sunday. TTML F1, myself and Pepsi Freak taking to the action as always. I'm now going to maybe cheer on a Sunderland win. Thank you so much for watching, and until next time, goodbye.